Was Auschwitz impossible because the ovens couldn't burn all the bodies? No, of course not. That's one of the biggest lies you'll ever hear about the Holocaust, but it's incredibly easy to call out, so let's do it. So Holocaust deniers typically make this claim on the basis that the cremation of a human body in a modern cremation oven takes anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And while that point may be true, it has absolutely no relevance whatsoever to cremation at a place like Auschwitz. You see, in a modern cremation, the furnace must be heated up, the body and the coffin must be burned until the remains are as small as possible, the furnace must be allowed to cool down, it must be cleaned, and the ashes then collected and most likely presented to loved ones. A modern cremation is typically an act of respect and religious ceremony, and it's absolutely ridiculous to suggest that this was being applied to people in a Nazi death camp who had been singled out for their religion, stripped of their civil rights, kidnapped, deported to a different country, robbed of all of their belongings, separated from their families, and then put to death in one of the most painful ways imaginable. For example, here's a section of the operational manual for the double muffle ovens in Crematorium 1 at the Auschwitz main camp. The manual states that as soon as the remains of the corpse fall into the ash collection channel, another corpse can be loaded into the furnace while the remains in the ash collection channel are given more time to be fully consumed. This process inevitably led to the mixing of ashes and human remains, something which of course can't possibly be allowed to happen in a modern cremation and was actually illegal under German cremation law at the time. The same document also states that the furnace mustn't be allowed to cool down after each incineration. Another operational manual from July 1941 states that the reason for this is that the internal linings will last longer if a steady temperature is maintained. And there's also the fact that countless witnesses, both victim and perpetrator, have testified to the fact that multiple corpses of different sizes and weights would be stuffed together into a single muffle. With all these things in mind, it's completely understandable why the head of construction at Auschwitz, SS Sturmbannführer or Major Karl Bischoff, told his boss in Berlin in this letter that the 5 crematoria could burn 4,756 corpses every 24 hours. This is just under 1,736,000 bodies a year. It's absolutely ridiculous to claim that the mass extermination of human beings wasn't happening at Auschwitz when the camp authorities were, by their own calculations, trying to destroy a city bigger than Phoenix, Arizona every single year. Most importantly, when the deportations to Auschwitz reached their highest levels in the spring and summer of 1944 and the crematoria simply couldn't keep up, bodies were burned in open-air pits behind Crematorium 5. That's almost certainly why there's smoke rising in that exact spot in this aerial photo of Auschwitz taken at that exact time by the Allies. A couple of prisoners even managed to take some photos of these pits and smuggle them out of the camp. Obviously, I'm not going to reproduce them here, but in this picture, the photographer fumbled the camera while standing in the doorway of one of Crematorium 5's gas chambers and accidentally photographed the sky and some trees instead. Anyway, the point here is that since we know that bodies were burned in open-air pits, the capacity and the limitations of the crematoria ovens are ultimately completely irrelevant. So as you can see, there's absolutely nothing academic or honest or intelligent about comparing modern cremation with cremation at Auschwitz and claiming that the ovens couldn't keep up. In combination with open-air pits and ovens which could and did burn alternative fuel like wood when coke supplies ran low, there were very few limitations as to how many corpses could actually be burned at the camp. That's precisely why the Nazis sent at least 1.3 million people there and why 1.1 million of those people disappeared. And explaining what happened to those people if they didn't perish there is something which people who deny or question the Holocaust have never been able to do.